Hello everyone, I've got a weekly mutation called Special Delivery, and that is Amon will stop at nothing to destroy you. Even in death, his minions strike back at you with a final, devastating gambit. Keep your distance as you dispatch your foes, or you might join them in defeat. So the co-op mission is Void Launch, and there's 3 mutations. The first mutation is Aggressive Deployment, which additional enemy units are periodically deployed onto the battlefield. The second mutation is Self-Destruction, which is enemy units explode and deal damage to nearby player units upon death. And then the final mutation is called Alien Incubation, which all enemy units spawn broodlings upon death, and that's absolutely terrible. It is terrible. And then once again, you can get 185,000 experience from beating this. And then I'll show you my mastery levels and how I've allocated all those power sets or distributed the points that I've unlocked. In the first power set, I've put all of my points in Mend Healing. The second power set, I put all of my points in Biomass Recovery Chance. So if one of your units dies, like your Roaches or your Ravagers, hopefully you have a better chance of recovering that biomass. And now I've also been thinking about this, and I think Symbiote Carapace Absorption is also a very good choice as well. So test that one out, see how it works. And for those of you who don't know, that Symbiote it flies around your Brutalists and Leviathans and helps absorb damage for them so they can survive longer. So very effective skill. I have not tried that one out yet. Might be very good. And then for my third power set, as you can see, I've got Structure, Morph, and Evolution Rate. And all my points are on that, and that's minus 34%. So that's a pretty darn big chunk. And as I list off cooldowns later on, my cooldowns the cooldowns that I list for upgrades or evolutions are going to be shorter because of this mastery upgrade that I have. Okay, so this weekly mutation special delivery was a complete, total pain in the butt. I'm not even lying right now, and you can laugh at me all you want, but I was really trying hard to beat this mutation with, shoot, who am I thinking of? Zagara, there we go. I tried so hard to beat this mutation with Zagara. I'm not lying, I tried 15 times. 15 times with Zagara because I wanted to change it up for you guys, and I had no luck. So as you can see, my teammate is Cinnabar, and he's playing as Karax. He's mastery level 90, which is a really big perk for me. Just shows that he's likely knows what he's doing, and he's going to have 3 maxed out power set abilities. So that'll be a real booster for this playthrough. But like I was saying, I tried so hard to give you guys a really good playthrough with Zagara, but I just couldn't get it. I got down to 1 or 2 shuttles, but they ended up escaping. That was my best effort with Zagara, and those 15 times just couldn't make it. So finally I said the heck with it. I am going to use Abathur. And my first playthrough with Abathur, no luck again. This is my second playthrough with Abathur, and I won. So it just goes to show how good Abathur is as a co-op commander. I did have a good teammate this playthrough, but, you know, I'm just, and my playing style too, I'm just so much better while playing as Abathur, and he's just really easy to play as. I definitely think a lot of beginner players can play Abathur very well, just for the fact that he has so much healing abilities. Queens can heal, you have that Mend Healing ability at the top you can click, and your biomass heals your units. Then there's also the more biomass you have, every single time your units attack, you get more healing every single time they attack. It's just all that stuff adds together, and it makes your units not want to die. And especially for this co-op mission, with those nasty mutations and the explosion after death, you really need that extra health. And so that's a really big help. Now, there's my teammate. Yeah, as he's going to say, you point up nests or you want me to attack first. So I'm going to put up my nests on this ramp. You want to make sure to have these, if you're going to be playing as Abathur, make sure to put your nests on this ramp, and then have at least 1 or 2 units to bait the enemy units into those nests, and then destroy them. It'll just help to kill those units faster, and when your your nests actually kill enemy units, they drop 100% more biomass. And then you can, you know, evolve your units quicker into a Brutalisk, and if with that in mind. So something, I don't know if my teammate already noticed this, I wasn't paying attention, but he told me, or is going to tell me, that all of your units basically tell the enemy where the enemy units are going to spawn in. So there's going to be warp-ins, because I'm playing against Protoss. So there's going to be warp-ins, and they generally warp in around your units, not the rest of your base. And honestly, I did not realize that all those times I was playing as Zagara. So I would have a bunch of Banelings around my base to help defend against those warp-ins, and it ended up actually hurting me more, because the units would warp in next to my drones, and then once they died, they spawned those broodlings, and then those broodlings would go attack the rest of my drones, and then when I killed them, I'd try to run my drones away, but then they would blow up and kill all of my drones at the same time. It's pretty much like a Baneling explosion, just destroying everything that you have. It's really nasty. So it's just this simple trick, which you guys should really take into account. Keep all of your units, except for when they're created, they have to spawn at your hatchery, but keep all of your units outside of your base. Doesn't matter where it is outside of your base, just keep them outside of your base. That way, almost all, I can't guarantee it, but almost all of the warp-ins, like it right there, they're going to spawn outside of the base. And I guess it's just something, it's just the way they set up this mutation. I didn't realize it the whole time, and it would have made such a big difference earlier on. But yeah, like I was saying, pay attention to that. So the first upgrade I'm getting from the Roach Warren was the movement speed for the roaches, and it basically increases their movement speed by 100%, and you're really going to want that because they already have a boost from the creep, but that 100% movement speed will help them get across the map faster. And I'm also getting the melee attacks level 1 from the evolution chamber. Or not melee attacks, what am I saying? The missile attacks level 1. You can't get melee attacks while playing as Abathur. So you have missile attacks level 1 from the evolution chamber, missile attacks level 2, missile attacks level 3. Then there's also Carapace, ground Carapace level 1, ground Carapace level 2, and ground Carapace level 3 from the evolution chamber. And each one of those Carapace upgrades your armor of all your Zerg units. And you're going to want to make sure to get these upgrades as soon as you can, because they're not too cheap and they have a long evolution time. So for example, ground Carapace level 1 has an evolution time of, I think, 2 minutes. Let's see here. Yeah, 160 seconds evolution time. And then level 2 has 190-second evolution time, and level 3 is 220 seconds. So you're looking at almost 4 minutes of evolution time for the final upgrade. And 4 minutes is huge if you're at the end of the match, or end of your co-op mission. So the sooner you can upgrade to Layer Tech, and then Hive Tech, the sooner you're going to be able to get those upgrades. And then once you have those upgrades, the stronger your units are going to be, and then they'll be able to take on these huge waves that you're going to encounter, because they just get stronger and stronger as you go on. And then as you can see, I'm not even really making any anti-air units. I've got 2 queens, that's it. But because Ravagers have the corrosive bile ability, that's how I'm going to kill these shuttles, and it's going to work very effectively. All you have to do is use the hotkey C, and then wait for the cooldown every time you're done. But yeah, hotkey C, and then click where you want those corrosive biles to land, and it's just going to do a ton of damage for you. Now, something I believe they changed in this most recent update is you have to actually click on the Brutalisk, evolve into a Brutalisk ability. And you click B to do that. You can hotkey B, or you can click on it manually. But yeah, you have to actually click to choose if you want to evolve into Brutalisk. The reason they do that is because the more biomass you have, the more there's perks that you get with this biomass. So for example, if you, instead of evolving to a Brutalisk, and you just kept a 100 Biomass Ravager, for example, that Ravager is going to have a gain of 500 base life, 200% attack speed, and 100% Biotic Leech. So that Biotic Leech ability is what I was talking about a little bit before. Biotic Leech is every single time you attack a unit, you regain that much percent of health. So if you have 100 Biomass and you don't transform into a Brutalisk, you gain 100%, or that unit gains 100% of its life back. So basically it's not going to die. Brutalisk, now, if you evolve into a Brutalisk, you don't have those perks anymore. You just have one really big, strong tanking unit with a symbiote that helps absorb damage. So every single time my Brutalisk attacks, it's not going to regenerate its life, as you can see right now. But like I was saying, that symbiote is helping to absorb that damage. And the symbiote also does some extra damage, but it's a small amount. And then as you're going to see, I'm using that Corrosive Bile ability to help. I'm morphing a ton of Ravagers here. I'm going to use that Corrosive Bile ability to kill the rest of these shuttles. And as you can see, those are now dead. Now, it's really nasty. These, every single time these units, like with this mutation, they spawn those Brutalines, and it's the Brutalines what actually kill you. Because each one of them does, no matter what unit it is, they're going to have that explosion after death because of that mutation. And when there's like 50 Broodlings, there's going to be 50 explosions. And it doesn't matter, like I was saying, doesn't matter what type of unit it is. They all those explosions do the same amount of damage. So if you have this really small Broodling and there's 50 of them, your army's going to die if you stay right on top of those explosions. So you really have to make sure to micro. Now, Karax doesn't really have that ability to micro if you're using the structure method, where you just use probes and then build a bunch of the photon cannons and Kadarin monoliths. So what my teammate is eventually going to do, and I really love what he does, is he's going to place a ton of pylons in front of his defenses, and this is really important. All of these pylons are going to act as a wall. He's creating a wall so all of those Broodlings don't go for the defenses first. They're forced to actually run into those pylons and act as the pylons are basically absorbing all of that damage for his defenses, and it's just really great. He doesn't even use that many shield batteries, just because that pylon wall does all the work for his defenses. It's basically shield. He's just creating one big massive shield for his defenses. Now I am getting my Carapace level 2 upgrades, and then I'm also getting 2 other upgrades from the Roach Warren. And the very first upgrade I'm getting there is, well, shoot, what was that first upgrade? I believe it's the burrowing ability that you can get. Tunneling Claws, that's what it was. Yeah, Tunneling Claws, and that enables roaches to move while burrowed and increases the life regeneration rate of burrowed roaches. And that costs 150 minerals, 150 gas, and has 73-second evolve time. Now, this can go both ways. I really didn't need to get that upgrade in this playthrough, and honestly, I think it was a waste of my resources. It was kind of silly of me to upgrade it. I just saw it and I clicked on it. But if you guys are going to make better use of burrowing and moving your roaches, then go ahead and go for it. I mean, it can definitely be effective, but for me, I seriously, I don't think I even burrowed a single unit this playthrough, so I just wasted that upgrade. I have no reason to have my roaches move while they're burrowed. Look at these attacks. All of those explosions, just have to keep moving away from those and moving away. And you want to make sure to keep on placing those nests on the ground to spread that creep. Even though they can explode on enemy units, pretty much the most effective use of them is for that creep spread, so your units can move from one place to the next very quickly. The other upgrade that I got from the Roach Warren was called Bloated Bile Ducts, and that is Ravager Corrosive Bile impact size is increased by 100%. So you're basically doubling the size of that corrosive bile. So when you click the C button and then click to place it somewhere, it's going to have that much 100% bigger radius, 100% bigger radius of what it can hit. And then that costs 150 minerals and 150 gas and has a 59-second evolution time. And once again, they're kind of awkward evolution times because I've got that 34% cool or evolution reduction, so it's that much quicker. Something important I want to point out right here is I'm making sure to place all those corrosive biles where those shuttles are going, not right on top of them, because it takes a second for those corrosive biles to actually drop. So it's kind of like you shoot at a moving target, you have to shoot where it's going, not where it is. So make sure to keep that in mind. And I also want to point out my army composition right now. I've got a ton of roaches, a bunch of ravagers, and then queens, and that's pretty much my army composition. The brutalists you don't really make, you get the biomass and then you evolve brutalists. So that's all you need. You just need a roach warren and layer tech and hive tech, and then that's pretty much all you got to do and get those evolution chambers and get all the upgrades. You do need an infestation pit to get the hive tech, but other than that, you just need a couple of buildings, and it's pretty darn simple to play Abathur with this strategy. Right now, I'm just checking for other upgrades from the infestation pit, but I'm just decided to get the other upgrades from the roach warren instead. And the upgrades I'm getting are adaptive plating, which roaches gain +3 armor when life is under 50%. That's really good. They become like Ultralisk armor pretty much once they're below 50% health. I don't have a whole lot of roaches left, but when I'm going to be spawning more from my hatcheries and hives and layers, I want to make sure to, just in case I don't have time to evolve them into ravagers, they're going to be that much stronger. And that costs 150 minerals, 150 gas, and has a 73-second evolution time. Now this is really crazy. This is the hardest wave, I think, besides the last wave, because these shuttles, and they always do it this exact way. I know because I've played it 16 times. Those shuttles come from all 3 spawn points, and they each have their own little force of units. Now, every single time that wave would come when I'm playing as Zagara, doesn't matter who I'm playing with, but I would be able to take out the shuttles, but we just could not, because I would use the suiciding flyer units that Zagara has, and I would go kill all the shuttles, but no matter what, we wouldn't be able to have enough units, ground units or air units, to defeat the big waves that comes with those shuttles. But playing with Karax and playing with Abathur, you have some really tough defenses and some really tough units. So it works out really well.
Research vessel ready. Let's get a
and then
to that shrine.
Back to the other upgrade I was talking about. So I got adaptive plating, and then the other upgrade I got from the roach warren was potent bile, and that allows ravagers' corrosive bile damage to be increased by 20. So you really want to get this one as soon as you can. But you have to make sure, for this adaptive plating and potent bile, you need to make sure to have your hive tech. So the sooner you get your hive tech, the better. So like I was saying, increase of 20 damage for those corrosive biles. That's huge, especially if you're using this to take out those shuttles. And kind of what I'm doing right now is I'm intercepting this wave of shuttles, and the sooner you can take out the shuttles, the better, just because you can get prepared for the next wave that way, and you have more time to take out any surprise attacks. If the shuttles get too close to the actual to the escaping point, the portals, it's just like so many things can happen wrong if you let them get too close, and you just want to avoid that at all costs. But it's turning out pretty well so far. And that potent bile upgrade costs 200 minerals, 200 gas, and has a 79-second evolution time. There are a couple other upgrades I wanted to point out really quick from the evolution chamber that I got right from the start of the game. I got biomechanical transfusion and incubation chamber. Both of these upgrades improve your queens, basically, your swarm queens. And biomechanical transfusion, that increases the healing of the swarm queen's rapid transfusion by 10 and allows it to heal mechanical units and structures. So that costs 100 minerals, 100 gas, has a 29-second evolution time. And then incubation chamber, this one I think is my favorite. It allows hatcheries, layers, and hives to birth 2 swarm queens simultaneously. It requires a layer tech to get this. It's 100 minerals, 100 gas, so it's super cheap, and it has a 40-second evolution time. I just love that ability so much because you don't really need extra hatcheries if you want to create a lot of queens. It just makes it so much more nice. And queens are essential in your army because you already have all of the healing going on from all the biomass and your mend ability, but the queens just make your army so much more tough. And oh man, is it getting laggy. These mutations are just so, there's so much happening all at once, so many units and everything. But we're getting pretty close down to the last shuttle right now, and I think we have, that's it. We have 0 shuttles left. That was all of the shuttles.
A well-deserved victory. The shuttles have been eliminated.
And I guess I lied to you guys about that wall of pylons. I think my teammate must have had those pylons up earlier in the game and I didn't notice, or I forgot to mention it right away. But yeah, a wall of pylons in front of your defenses works really well. And it really helps against those broodlings, because those broodlings are what are going to do the damage against you. So my 2 biggest tips for you guys are, first, keep your units outside of your base. No matter what, when you spawn them, instantly put them outside your base. And play with Abathur if you can, or Karax. Everyone should have Karax because you didn't have to buy him. But Karax or Abathur, and those are my 2 suggestions for this mutation. Raynor used to be really good, but you know, they kind of nerfed him. They took away the double mule drop, so he's not as good anymore, and it's kind of disappointing. And I'm showing you guys these achievements right here at the end. I got the Mutation Brutal 10, which is complete 10 weekly mutation challenges on Brutal difficulty, and this is only going to be my 9th posting, and that means that I beat the very first, or this is only my 8th posting of a video, and I call it Weekly Mutation number 9 because I didn't actually post a video for the first Weekly Mutation. So this is technically my 8th video, but it's the 9th Weekly Mutation to come out, and I just got an achievement for beating 10 Weekly Mutations. So I think that was a glitch, and I was just double checking it at the end there. It doesn't make any sense why I got it, but anyways, there it is, special delivery on Brutal difficulty. I really hope this helps you guys, and I hope all of my commentary was effective, and I told you helpful upgrades to get as Abathur, and helpful strategies with Karax. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you can beat this on Brutal difficulty. This was a really tough mutation. I hope you guys can get it. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.